Come on, hand him over. Thank you. You stupid idiots. You stupid idiot. Why? Why that camera angle? Why? You stupid. What's going on, it's Team Shout? It's his Fake Galaxy Cat, Mr. Galaxy, back again in another video, and this right here proves that you don't always need gimmicks to sell a belt. Sometimes everything you need is right here in this belt. What I'm trying to say is that this is the best driver with no gimmicks attached. We haven't seen something like this since... Point is, we haven't had a belt like this in a long time, unless you count complete slip modification belts. Even then, some of them use gimmicks, like the voice lines and stuff like that. With that being said, let's review this thing, because this is probably one of my favorite rider belts of all time, next to the Ziku driver. This belt right here was used by Kamen Rider Century and Century Break in the Kamen Rider movie Beyond Generations. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about Beyond Generations, hi, I'm in the club as well. The movie has not come out yet for fan subs, that is. So, unfortunately, I don't know anything about this or the characters themselves. What I can only assume is that Century Break is the villain, Century is the hero, and this video might contain spoilers. So, with that out of the way, let's just review the belt. The sculpting on this thing is pretty good. It might look plain and simple, but under certain lightings, you can see a vague purple. And if you took the shell off, you could see even more details on this thing, which is actually quite terrifying. But out of the box, you get this belt, some belt straps, and belt buckle. No batteries are included, 3 AAA batteries. Thanks, Bandai. Much better to hold. You might want to save up these belt straps for when you want to make a belt like my Ziku driver belt that I use in Galaxy Skits. Other than that, it comes with a clip with, I believe, is the Birth Driver's clip. I don't know, but this clip has been used before. Of course, you can use belt extensions and some modifications if you're talented enough, but you won't need them for this kind of driver, for if you turn it around, it's one of those belts. What do I mean by that? You can use a belt. The fact that this really cool driver has one of those, you could just slap a belt on and be fine, just to make it more comfy for me, because I'm a big boy, just makes this driver slightly better and way easier for cosplay. Or just wearing around casually, although I don't recommend bringing this to your work. I mean, you could break it or something, or it can get your way. The belt's not that big. It's about the size that you would expect on a small Japanese toy, but it's still pretty chunky. Like, I can fit in my hand just fine. It feels like I just ripped this right out of the show, just like I did from the box. Now, that out of the way, let's get to the actual review. Oh! You can use it as a fidget spinner. Is that a reference to the Ziku driver? If you're a Kamen Rider fan, then this belt looks a lot like Ichigo's belt, 01's belt, and Kuga's belt. That's because if we make it to the 100th anniversary of Kamen Rider, because this guy comes from 2071, then Century will be the the 100th anniversary Kamen Rider. If that's the case, I really hope they release this belt. I can see this having some gimmicks, like maybe you slide in a card or a disc or something and it spins around, making a different color. A reference to that rider, like you slip in like a red card, a reference to Kuga. You slip in a purple and green card, it's double. You can put some dark values in there, like if you put in a card that looks like Dino but has some squiggly blue lines on it, it's purple, then you get Dino. So I can imagine like a gimmick like that working in 2071, but anyways, that out of the way, it just looks pretty cool. Nice homage to Ichigo, nice homage to Kuga, nice homage to 01, and it just looks great in general, even without the belt thing. Although, do not remove this. It's stuck on here, it's screwed in, but don't lose this part right here. This clear part, Trust me, it makes the belt look a lot cool, and there's nothing covering the LED lights inside. Now, let's get into the actual review. I said that like multiple times, but let's just really do it. There are two modes in this thing. You gotta flip this on, turn on the Cyclotron driver, but if you flip it on and hold this button, you will get the other Cyclotron driver. For the sake of the review, I'm gonna review this thing as Kamen Century, and we'll look at Century Break in the end of the review, because there's literally nothing that Century Break adds aside from the Henshin jingle, which is kind of a shame. Eight beautiful multicolored LEDs are inside this thing, and they all spark beautifully. Don't stare at this straight in the eye, because you'll get blind. Now, we're at the standby mode, which means it's wait for us to push a button. There's like a button right here and a button right here to push, which each does different thing. Push the button on this side, your time traveler. Push the button on this side, your de-henshin, or have some quotes on the actors. At the same time, standby sound and your henshin! And the Kamen Century. First things first, let's time travel. Gotta be honest, my Google Pixel 6 can't do this justice. The LCD screen, like everything seems flat, but once you push a button, it just pops. Like, it seems 3D. Oh, I kinda got it. It's so cool what simple plastic can do, making a little bit of an illusion inside here, making the lights look like they're 3-dimensional, when in fact they're as flat as my freaking box in the background. Oh, now this thing kind of looks like the cigar. Okay, is this intentional? It kind of looks like the cigar driver from Kamen Kiva. Push this on the right and you get noises. Which I'm not going to go over because I don't know the quotes of the actor and I have not seen the movie yet, and I don't think translations are out yet. So I'm only translating what I can translate, but quotes are there if you want. Now, without further ado, let's actually henshin into Century. And with that, you have henshined into Kamen Rider Century. And, what do you do now? Well, you get to Rider Kick. Or, you can Rider Punch. Or you can perform Finisher. That's right, this thing has 3 Hitsatsu attacks. Let's go over them all right now. Push these buttons at the same time to activate the Rider Finisher standby. If you don't do that, you just push them one at a time. You'll either time travel again, quotes, or de-henshin, which I'll show you later. The multi-LEDs inside this thing just makes the driver pop out so much more, especially the Cyclotron finish. Now, if you want to do the henshin again, just hold down this button. Oops. That's one thing I gotta complain about. Sometimes if you try to push one of the buttons, you will accidentally push the 2 buttons at the same time. Minor inconvenience, but aside from that, if you're delicate enough, then you'll successfully push the buttons you want to push. Now anyways, to de-henshin, just hold the button right here. You get a de-henshin noise, and you'll be able to transform the Cyclotron, Century again. And that is it for Century mode. Now, let's move on to the mode that I wish had more love. To transform to Century Break, just hold down this button. It has to be on this side. If you do it on this side, nothing will happen. So you have to hold it on this side right here. Hold it, push the power button on, and then something else will happen. you'll get a much more evil Cyclotron driver, with the only difference in this mode being there was no standby, then the quotes are different, but other than that, it's basically the same thing. Strangely enough, there's no henshin, so that sucks. Time travel is the same if you hold it on this side. Just the same. Now let's actually transform into Kamen Century Break. And that's it for Century Break mode. The Rider's finishing moves are all the same LEDs and stuff like that, so unfortunately, nothing moved. Not even the finishing move standby has a different color. I wish that one was bluish purplish like with this, but nah, it's just the same red. It feels tacked on, like they just added that just because they had to. But other than that, overall, pretty good driver for something that doesn't use any gimmicks. I am really impressed with what they did with this driver. And for a premium Bandai product, this is probably one of the best they released yet. This driver right here proves that you don't need any gimmicks to sell a toy. Sometimes everything built in is all that you need. But then again, have you seen how much that double solo's Diamond was like? Although we'll probably never see an era of Kamen like this ever again, I'm still happy that they made this thing. I just realized the little thing right here is in the shape of Sentry's helmet, but it's covered by the copyright stuff. Big sad. Let's give this an official ranking. I give the Cyclotron driver a rank S. This exceeded my expectations. 2 henshin jingles, 3 finishing moves, time travel effect, a de-henshin sound. That right there. You take those for granted. It's just built in. And also, quotes from the actors themselves. This thing should have been a complete selection modification. I'm gonna say it. This thing right here deserves a complete selection modification build. Just slap on some music in there, you got yourself a complete selection modification build right there. Just slap it on with a Mitre Flex tape. You know what? I'm gonna do it myself. Yeah. If Bandai doesn't do it, or whoever makes the complete selection modification builds won't do it, then I'll do it myself. Coming soon in the year 3000, the complete selection modification Cyclotron driver. Unfortunately, this is an early prototype, and Nice! Open up! We know you have a complete selection modification build. The FBI has found my house. I'm getting sued. I'm gonna go hide the prototype of the complete selection modification of Cyclotron driver. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this so, then I'm gonna comment down below. Let's hit that like button to another dimension. I'm this guy, so guys, see you guys next time. Peace out, Mr. Team Chat. Okay, I go. That's it. We're coming in. Get them, boys. Henshin. I don't know what Post Century does. The movie hasn't come out yet.